Hello and welcome to this special broadcast on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. As the year 2020 draws to a close, the country is eagerly awaiting a coronavirus vaccination drive, which is most likely to be rolled out early next year. At least 5 COVID-19 vaccine candidates are in different stages of clinical trial currently, with 3 of them, in fact, also having applied to the Drugs Controller General of India, seeking emergency use authorization for their COVID-19 vaccines. Now, among them is Bharat Biotech, the Hyderabad-based firm that has developed the indigenous COVID vaccine, Covaxin, in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research and National Institute of Virology, Pune. Joining us on this special edition of To The Point is Mrs. Suchitra Ella, the Joint Managing Director of Bharat Biotech. Welcome to Rajya Sabha TV, ma'am. Let me begin the program by congratulating you and your team for the tremendous efforts that you've undertaken over the past few months to, develop a vaccine for one of the worst health crises in recent history.
Thank you so much, Tina Jha. This is it's a great honor. It's a pleasure to be talking to you through Rajya Sabha TV and to all the viewers of Rajya Sabha TV this afternoon from Hyderabad. Thank you so much.
Pleasure having you, ma'am, on the show. So let's begin talking about Covaxin. Now, the trial results of both phase 1 and 2 have been quite encouraging. How has the response been so far to the phase 3 trials, which are currently underway in different parts of the country?
The phase 3 trial started on November 15th last month, and we have currently enrolled, I think today, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, we should be able to cross 20,000 volunteers for the first dose of the trial, phase 3. It's going on very well. There's a lot of interest that has come in because this is purely on a voluntary basis, and it's going on across the country in 26 hospitals, and the total enrollment for the trial, phase 3 trial, will be 26,000 volunteers to prove the efficacy of Covaxin.
There are certain reports coming up from different cities, especially in bigger ones like Delhi, Bengaluru and Mumbai, about shortage of volunteers in the phase 3 trials. Now, could that, according to you, lead to a delay in the rollout plan or the deadline that you may have set for the rollout of Covaxin?
See, the trials have to be done, whether it is a delay or whether it is a fast mode. It all depends on how quick the trial can be completed, because there's no other way to shortcut it. And these are as per the guidelines of the National Regulatory Authority, which is under the Drug Controller General of India. The CDSCO has to monitor all the trial data and then accord licensure for a vaccine or for any new molecule. So the faster we finish the trial, the good for the vaccine to be rolled out. So that is how it goes. I mean, there's no way we can cut it short, but there are certain centers where maybe, I don't know for what reasons, because these are big cities and I'm sure the people there know about the criticality of the situation that we are in as a country, the whole world is. And I would urge, and I would, though we cannot compel or force anybody, but it is only an appeal to the public at large to please volunteer yourselves for a trial of this kind happening for the first time in India. And that too to bring out a COVID-19 vaccine, which is an indigenous vaccine and, with the collaboration of Bharat Biotech and ICMR.
Definitely. So, ma'am, with the way things are progressing, the phase 1 and 2 trial results have been extremely encouraging. And in fact, the ICMR has gone on record to say that it has drawn a lot of global attention as well. So that brings me to the question which perhaps every Indian must be thinking about at the moment. How hopeful are we, or how sooner can the vaccine be available to us?
This, no doubt, has created a lot of attention, interest in the global arena, because we have been in vaccine development for the last 25 years in India. And this is not the first time that we have developed a new vaccine. We have a history of about more than 7 or 8 vaccines that have been brought new to the table. And we have done clinical trials of over 500,000 subjects across continents for various products, for various vaccines all along. So this time around, everything is so time compressed, the capsule is so tight that we have had to really work 24/7. And I cannot imagine this kind of a speed at which the country, companies, some of us who are in the field of vaccine discovery and research and development, not only in India but across the world, this is happening. So I think there is this is a great moment. Unfortunately, yes, COVID-19 has given us a lot of, an impact on the health and livelihoods of people, the incomes of people. Unfortunately, many have been affected by it. So I think it's also the challenges have to be seen in a way in order to see what kind of an opportunity platform we can take from this. And in order to do so, I think right now it is social distancing, a mask, and a vaccine. So I think these are the only 3 bets we have in our hand. So we have to ensure that at least public health requires a vaccine, and vaccine development requires phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3 clinical trials, whether it is India or whether it's any part of the world. So I think this is very critical that all of us understand the need of the hour. And I'm sure that we are ready, technology is ready for us. The platform technology has been proven with us because we have done several vaccines before with the same platform technology. So we are not concerned about that. We are building up on the volumes in terms of what the country's requirement is for the public distribution system. And we just only have to ensure now that the efficacy data of the trial in the large population that we have chosen to conduct this trial, so that in order to be on par with the international guidelines and standards. So we have chosen this number not because of our own choice, but in order to prove to the world also in a way that we have undertaken this large community-based trial. And this is also reflecting, if you see the other vaccines in the world, they're all in this numbers. 30,000 plus is the numbers that we are looking at for many vaccines out there. So I think the time has come for India also to walk in the same manner and also prove to the world that we have been able to do the same thing, which will be safe and effective for our population as well. We have
Certainly.
A very large
So while
population.
we're all hopeful and are eagerly awaiting our own indigenous vaccine to come out and get that license, but there's another concern among people because developing vaccines is a long-drawn procedure. In fact, at Bharat Biotech, it took you about 15 years to come up with the rotavirus vaccine. Now, with the COVID vaccines being rolled out in parts of the world under less than a year, there is, of course, massive concern that in the race for a vaccine, the entire procedure has been rushed through. So how would you like to assure people on the safety and efficacy part of Covaxin?
In a normal circumstances, in the normal world, 15 to 20 years is a normal time frame for vaccine development because research continues to happen at the research institutions, at the universities, and also in the private organizations that are involved in vaccine research and development.
Yes.
For various reasons, it takes time. There is funding, there is sometimes technology issues, there is R&D issues, there are clinical development issues. No doubt, there is certainly, nobody can say that that does not happen. That does happen in the normal world. But are we in a normal world now? No, we are in a pandemic. The whole world knows that we are in a pandemic. So we can't be sitting now and saying that I'll take 15 years to come out with a pandemic vaccine. So this does not happen. In a pandemic scenario, the entire world is, jumping to find out what could be the best way of containing this infection or transmission of this disease burden to the whole world. Because if it is happening in one country, it is not stopping at that. We are traveling world over, and even now we know that India has, we have passengers who have landed in India from Europe and the other parts of the world, and we have tested positive for the new strains of this virus. So we can't now say that we need 15 years to do it. And then again, people will laugh at us. They'll say, oh, we in India are sitting and waiting for 15 years to develop a vaccine when the pandemic is, out there and affecting everybody's life and health. In a pandemic scenario, let me give you a very small example. We have been through the H1N1 pandemic, which was called the swine flu as well. We had a vaccine in India under 12 months, in less than 12 months. The government of India at that point of time had to draw the strains from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, from the United States, and had deployed in three companies here, three vaccine companies, who could then turn around and build the vaccine for the H1N1 pandemic. If it had blown out on a bigger scale, India would have been prepared indigenously to have these volumes of vaccines, the doses ready for our population. So I think for us, the development part has been handled very carefully, because we have done, as I told you earlier, the ViroCell technology platform that we at Bharat Biotech have deployed, proven with other vaccines in Japanese encephalitis, polio, and several other vaccines that we have developed. So we are very confident of the platform technology because it is world over accepted. It's a classical technology, and it's the safest technology. It is not the modern, newer technologies which some of the Western countries are talking about, the mRNA or a DNA kind of a vaccine or a protein-based technology. So we have gone with the whole cell inactivated platform technology, which is very comfortable for us to handle. And we also have what is called the biosafety level 3 facility, which is the highest containment facility that you could ever have in a country for manufacturing this vaccine, particularly for this kind of viruses. So we happen to have that facility in-house. We have added 2 more facilities of the same kind within our campus in Hyderabad, and we are just gearing up now to produce hundreds of millions of doses. Like I said earlier, the Prime Minister was here on November 29th, and it goes to show that we have risen to the occasion as an Indian manufacturer, as an Indian developer, and as an innovator of vaccines. Our staff, our employees, all my colleagues in the company, we have not had a lockdown. I'm very proud to say this because we have been working from March and April. So we have
yes,
just
I'll come to you later on and understand how the journey of Covaxin has been over the past few months. But talking about the UK variant, ma'am, there have been 6 confirmed cases of the UK variant in India. It's a cause of worry, of course. Are you hopeful that Covaxin will also be effective on different mutations of coronavirus?
It all depends on how we can test our vaccine on the new strains. There is not going to be short and quick answers for public health concerns of this magnitude, because the answers have to come only after very, very focused scientific methods of evaluating how the vaccine is going to react to this virus. The virus now, the samples of which may be available with the National Institute of Virology in Pune, with whom we have collaborated for many animal tests and data. In the initial strains themselves came from them in the month on May 1st. So we will be again reaching out to the NIV and to the ICMR to get the new strains, because we as a company don't have access to these virus strains that are isolated or found in the people who have been tested positive, because these are blood samples of people. So these strains are available only at national laboratories of this nature. We will certainly deploy our QC methods and all the testing protocols that have to be put in place to test the vaccine against the new strain. But we hope, and we are to some extent positive to say that ours is a whole cell vaccine. We have deployed the entire cell of the SARS-CoV-2. So a small mutation in a part of that cell or in a part of its genome is probably not going to affect the way our vaccine is going to be able to tackle it.
Yes, let's all keep our fingers crossed as far as Covaxin's efficacy is concerned. So, ma'am, once approved, will Covaxin be for the Indians first?
Of course, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it, because always our vaccines, even in the past, we have been manufacturing here in the millions and billions of doses. Our market share has been primarily for India. And then, of course, we have been audited and approved by the WHO. So we are a WHO pre-qualified facility for about 3 or 4 of our vaccines. When the UNICEF and when international agencies have to procure for the underdeveloped world and for the poorer nations of the world, then our vaccines are made available also to those large agencies which also deploy to other countries that need it. But first, definitely, the government of India will be, is already talking to us as vaccine manufacturers in order to enable us to understand what would be the procurement and the deployment of the vaccine distribution for the country in the first 6 months of 2021.
And if we talk about the affordability of Covaxin, ma'am, will it be cost effective for the masses in India?
I know you're going to come to that as well. I don't see a vaccine that we as a company, Bharat Biotech in particular, has had in the last 20 years that has not been affordable in this country. That is the passion with which when Dr. Ella and I, myself, both of us are co-founders of the company. And relocating to India from the US itself was just for that reason, that we wanted to ensure that we would make vaccines affordable to the common man of India. And we have stood by that. Our rotavirus is proof that we supply it for $1 a dose to the government of India, which uses it in its national distribution, in its universal distribution program for the children born in India. We also supply the polio vaccine to the Ministry of Health, again for the national immunization program for the children. So we have proven it time and again in terms of being very cost effective.
And another good aspect is that it goes perfectly in sync with the government's Atmanirbhar Bharat push. When the government is advocating vocal for local, what best than having our own COVID-19 vaccine, indigenous COVID-19 vaccine, come up for the masses at an affordable price. But if we talk about challenges, ma'am, how big a challenge will it be to vaccinate over 1 billion people? We've been able to contain COVID-19 to a large extent because of the measures that were taken in time. But if we talk about the vaccination drive, what are going to be the challenges according to you?
We cannot vaccinate 1 billion people in a month or few months' time. We all know that, because this is a country which is so populous. And even if you look at lesser populated countries, for example, the United States and in Britain, where the vaccinations have started, the immunization for COVID-19 has started, but it is going to be done in a phased manner, because the first responders would be the ones who would get it first. So the governments will also know how to deploy the vaccine, which are the populations, which are the target populations that require the vaccine the most and immediately, because they are the people who come in contact with the rest of the public, because it's the doctors, the hospitals, the nurses, the paramedical staff, the police, departments, the government health departments, the government officials themselves, the military, the paramilitary forces, and also the aged population. So maybe the children may have to wait for some time. The younger, under 30 or 40, will have to wait for some time. Maybe they'll get it later, but the first categories will come first. So the government of India is working on it. Certainly, they know the categories that need to be vaccinated first.
Yes.
And ours is a 1.3 billion population, times 2 would be 2.6. But the children, as I have discounted already, but still it's not easy to vaccinate 2 billion of a population in a very short period of time. It will have to be done in a phased manner as decided by the government of India.
Certainly. Also, ma'am, is Covaxin suitable for all age groups of people, including the children?
As of now, Covaxin's clinical trials have been authorized by the DCGI to be conducted over the age of 18. Okay. So it is primarily for adults right now. Again, nowhere in the world the vaccine has been tried or tested on children yet, because again, in a pandemic scenario, it is the global scenario, requirement of how these vaccine has to be rolled out. So the vulnerable population in this particular pandemic, right now, immediately in front of us is the older population, the aging population, the plus 60, 65 population. So the countries of the world have also put on the table that this is what is the first requirement right now in order to provide health and safety for all of them. And the first responders, of course, because they come in day-to-day contact with all those who are infected. So children will come at a later time point when the WHO and other agencies will definitely look at it as well and see whether the children are also going to be vulnerable if the strains start mutating or maybe start causing a little bit more the percentage of infections of children going up. Then when those data start coming out globally, certainly children will not be excluded from this. They are a part and parcel of our societies and our countries at large. So definitely children will be there, but at this point of time, Covaxin or any other vaccine now that is being currently developed across the world is being looked at only for an adult population.
Okay, so before wrapping up the program, ma'am, I would like to take you a little back in time. We've heard from you all about Covaxin, but if you could also share with us and our viewers, how has the journey of Covaxin been over the past few months? When did Bharat Biotech begin working on the COVID vaccine, and the kind of challenges, the initial challenges that you faced in the process?
We wrote to the ICMR in the month of April. And immediately when, we got into the lockdown, and we also realized that the country had these samples which were available at the National Institute of Virology. So we wrote to the ICMR to request them to give us some of these strains, which were the ICMR readily accepted our request, and they willingly wanted to collaborate in this process. If possible, if there would be a vaccine development candidate that could come out of this research and the work that we were going to undertake. So we received the samples physically from Pune. In fact, one of the challenges was, I would like to share with you through you to your viewers, is that we physically traveled to Pune. Our teams went by road when it was in the peak of lockdown, in lockdown 1, and because there was no aircraft, there was no other transportation, there was no logistics.
And of course to ensure safety as well.
Well, no, there was no other mode of transportation. So we had to send by road with special permissions from the government, crossing 3 states from Telangana to Maharashtra. And physically the strains had to be transported in vehicles in -20, of course, or with all precautions taken care of, because we were transporting the live virus. So we knew what we were handling at that point of time. But at the same time, we knew how we could do it, and we have done it before. So we brought them here physically to our campus, and then we inactivated them. Our teams in the production department, at least 100 or so initially in the first couple of weeks, had to literally walk into the chambers and the BSL-3 containment facility where there was a live SARS-CoV-2 virus that they were going to be handling physically. So with all the precautions of working under negative pressure, it is not easy. They don't come out for at least 8 to 10 hours out of that building. They are contained in that facility because they cannot get exposed to the outside environment, and also to all the other employees we have on campus. So we have to ensure that all precautions are taken care of. And we had the virus inactivated. So we know then that it is a comfortable platform then from there on to start handling it. So that took us at least about a month or so. We got the inactivation process done because we have done it in the past for other viruses. And then we have developed the vaccine candidate, formulated in a liquid formulation. It is a 2 to 8 degree material which is going to be stored in a vial, and it is a liquid form. And then we also have to send it for testing, animal testing, because the first process is to show safety in animals.
Yes.
If the animal safety data does not come, then there is no vaccine candidate at all. So that is the first step which was proven. Again, NIV and ICMR have worked with us very closely on that. And we have shown animal data now, which is published in international journals, to show that this inactivated whole cell virion vaccine developed from India was proven in animal data to be safe. And so from there on, that data then gets again transferred to the Ministry of Health, to the Drug Controller General of India, and the committees review it for safety parameters, ensure that this vaccine candidate has demonstrated all the safety parameters in small lab animals, and then we have received the phase 1 and phase 2 permissions.
And we are glad the trial results have been encouraging. The response to
Absolutely.
the third phase has also been extremely good. Thank you once again to your team and all the scientists at Bharat Biotech for the arduous efforts that they have been undertaking over the past several months to come up with an indigenous COVID-19 vaccine. We are all hopeful. The dry run in the country has started in 4 states, and we are all keeping our fingers crossed that in early next year, Indians should possibly have our very own indigenous COVID-19 vaccine, which is the Covaxin. Thank you, ma'am, once again for taking out time and joining us on Rajya Sabha TV, and wishing you more success in your mission to deliver affordable, safe and high-quality vaccines to Indians. Pleasure having you on the program. So with that, I'll have to call it a wrap on this edition of To The Point. Stay tuned for more on Rajya Sabha TV. Thank you very much.